You've been told to follow certain expert approved holiday tips so that you don't eat everything in sight. Here's the truth: four of these popular rules actually make you overeat this time of year. After 40 plus years of my own emotional eating, and after helping several hundred women conquer binge eating using strategies that I learned while working as the chief of staff for FBI counterintelligence, yes, really, I can tell you this: your holiday overeating and emotional eating are triggered by advice that just flat out makes the overeating worse. So today I'm going to break down the four holiday tips that you should never follow. And more importantly, the five psychology based strategies that actually keep you in control around food, even at parties, even at family gatherings. If you want a holiday season without feeling gross and spiraling into regret, this episode is for you. First, let's jump right into the four myths. Myth number one: eat before you go to the party so you won't be tempted. This is the gold star of bad advice, and I'm sure you hear it all of the time. And yes, it sounds logical because if you're already full, you're not going to eat everything in sight. It really is. It's a good idea in theory, but there are two major red flags that you probably haven't thought about. First is that the food that the majority of people eat before they go out, it's not actually filling them up. Okay, hear me out. I want you to think about how many times that you've had a quote unquote healthy lunch or a healthy dinner. And I want you to think about how many hours later when you are hungry. It's probably about 2 hours later that you're starting to get like really hungry again. It's about 2 hours later that you're starting to reach for a snack. It's pretty basic math. And I want you to think about where you are at 2 hours after dinner when you're going to the party. Guess where you're going to be? You're going to be at the party. Guess how you're going to be feeling? You're going to be starving. So you eat this dinner, you're going to be starving 2 hours later. What happens when you're starving? You're going to eat everything in sight. Which brings us to the second thing that you may not have thought about. It's just basic human nature. It's a party, it's a dinner, it's festive, it's the holidays. So if you eat something ahead of time, and especially if it doesn't fill you up, there is an excellent probability you're going to just get caught up in all the festivities. You're going to want to partake in all of the decadent food choices. I mean, think about it. It doesn't matter how full you are, there's always room for sugar cookies and fudge. Prove me wrong. And don't forget the psychological aspect of this. When you tell yourself that you've been quote unquote good, meaning you ate ahead of time, you've just given yourself permission to indulge. Myth number two: load up on the crudité so you won't eat the cookies. This is another one. Great idea in theory, but fatal flaws in execution. Here's the psychology behind this one. Because of our glorious diet culture, we view the crudité, the carrots, the celery, the broccoli, we call that rabbit food. Dr. Dexatrim tells us that this is what we are supposed to eat when we're on a diet. And we have been compliant to this advice for decades. But here's the honest truth: it's bland, it's not filling, and you're going to be starving and hangry. And then what's going to happen? You're still going to eat all of those gingerbread cookies that are calling your name. Veggies are not packing protein, and they are going to leave you starving. Your ghrelin, this is your hunger hormone. It is going to stay stuck in go mode. Your brain is going to tell you, eat more, eat more. And not to mention the dipping sauce that goes along with the crudité. It's typically full of all these unhealthy and inflammatory seed oils and just totally gross. Back to the psychology trigger I mentioned in number one. You've convinced your brain that you are being quote unquote good for eating the vegetables. So now in return, your brain is justifying biting the head off the gingerbread man as the reward. My friend, never once in the history of the world has a piece of celery ever saved a woman from a gingerbread cookie. You and I both know that molasses just hits, and especially this time of year. Here's the thing: if eating crudité actually worked, Weight Watchers would have gone out of business in 1993. I mean, feel free to go eat the rabbit food, totally cool, but is willpower really going to win with all of those decadent treats in front of you? Myth number three is they say, tell yourself this is a treat day. Tell yourself it is okay to splurge on the treats. And we talked about this on a little bit already. And this one isn't even a good idea in theory. Here's the psychology behind why this is just a bad idea altogether. First of all, when we have this treat ourselves kind of mindset, it just opens the door to anything goes. This is your brain justifying and giving you the permission slip to just go completely feral on food. There's nothing holding you back, and especially in a party environment. The more sugar you eat, the more sugary sweets you eat, it's just going to light up those addiction centers in your brain, and you're going to want to eat more. There is always a smorgasbord of these decadent treats at the dinners and gatherings. Show me one party that doesn't have them, at the holidays especially. And especially too at these holidays, not only that, these special treats come out once a year. You've got gingerbread cookies and sugar cookies and fudge and peppermint bark and candy canes and pecan pie and peanut brittle. So not only do we tell ourselves, this is my treat day, your brain is now operating from a place of scarcity. Your scarcity brain is telling you, I am not going to get this treat for an entire year. I love it. It tastes good. It makes me happy. And the next thing you know, you're just turning into Cookie Monster. And then the treat day turns into treat week. You're like, oh, screw it. It's December. I'm just going to eat everything in the holidays and start over on Monday or start over in January. And then that just turns into, how on earth am I in the exact same place next year this time? Number 4 myth. Wear something tight-fitting so you won't want to eat. Yes, experts actually tell you this advice. And yes, people actually do it. Here's why this is a bad idea, and follow the psychology. I want you to think about how you feel when you go into your closet, when you find something just, fabulous to wear. But when you put it on, you realize that it's tight. Number 1, how do you look? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've put those one size too small dresses on, and that whole stuffed sausage thing is not a look that I want to look like. I mean, for me, I just feel gross, and I truly doubt you want to look like that either. But more importantly, how do you feel? I don't know about you, but when I wear something that's not flattering, I don't feel good about myself. Do you really want to go to that holiday event and arrive already at a self-esteem deficit? I mean, the answer is probably no. Not to mention the first 3 things that we talked about. When you're feeling bad about how you look, are you more likely or less likely to just go crazy on eating all the treats? Okay, you do not need to go all Joey Tribbiani and wear the Thanksgiving pants, the Phoebe's maternity pants, so you got some stretch to eat everything in sight. You do not have to go to those lengths. But how would you feel if you wore an outfit that just flattered your figure, that you feel fabulous and confident in, that you are going to walk into that gathering with your head held high? We just covered the top 4 worst advice around holiday eating. Number 1, eat before you go out so you won't be tempted. Number 2, load up on the crudité so you won't eat the cookies. Number 3, tell yourself this is a treat day and it's okay to splurge on the treats. And then number 4, wear tight-fitting clothes so you don't eat. Don't worry, I am not going to leave you hanging. You've got your 4 myths, and next up, I've got 5 strategies for you that you may want to consider instead. And when you think about these, ask yourself, which ones do I really connect with? Which one really makes sense to me? Which one can I implement successfully this holiday season? Number 1, fill up on the right foods. So if you are going to eat ahead of time, which you don't have to, but if you are going to do it, fill up on the right foods so that you're actually full and satiated. This is protein and fat. The gold star is 30 grams of protein per meal. Protein and fat, they're going to turn off the ghrelin, which is telling you to eat, and turn on your leptin, which is telling you that you're full. Protein is also going to stabilize your blood sugar so that your brain's not swinging between the cravings and the crashings. Here's where the weight loss forensics come in. And I actually recommend you experiment with this ahead of time. First, and I mentioned this just briefly, but first, I want you to think about several of your just normal lunches, your normal dinners. And I want you to track how long it is after you eat until you start feeling hungry. And then I want you to track that for several days. And then what I want you to do is add in more protein and more fat, add in enough protein so that you're hitting at least 30 grams of protein in that meal. And I want you to track how long it is until you start feeling hungry. and then just compare. This is just random advice of eat this, don't eat that from the 25-year-old 100-pound influencer on Instagram. This is real world data that works for your real life and your real body. Number 2, bring your own food. Some hosts, they want to do it all themselves. Some like to have people bring their favorite dishes. Always ask first. Don't just show up with a random dish without checking with the host first, because that's just rude. But ask first. And if you can bring food for the group, make something that you love that is healthy and filling. And even if you don't want to make something, if you're like, I can't cook or I don't have time to make something, go to the store, grab a shrimp cocktail platter, and you're winning. If you can't bring your own food, pack some snacks in your purse. Pack snacks that are full of high quality protein and fat. Your goal is to enjoy the festivities and enjoy the time, enjoy the people, enjoy the connection, but you also want to enjoy it more healthy. And in an emergency situation, it is always good to have a little pocket treat or a little purse treat to fall back on. I never go anywhere without a plan and without an exit strategy. I am telling you right now, if you ever see me out in real life, ask me what snack I have in my purse. I double dog dare you, because I rarely go out into the wild without a snack in my purse. Ask my friends. They have some really funny stories about the unexpected purse snacks. And yeah, flex, but I've even caused some raised eyebrows from some TSA agents. Number 3, remember the order of your food. This one is super simple. Your carby carbs last. And yes, that is a scientific term that I just made up. Carby carbs, always last. Protein, fat, veggies first. Veggies are a carb. And your carby carbs, your rice, your potatoes, any kind of sugar, last. Protein, fat, veggies first, even fruit first. Carby carbs, rice, protein, sugar, last. So let's go right back to your ghrelin and your leptin. This is important because when you eat carbs first, any kind of carbs, your blood sugar spikes, your insulin spikes, and then your brain switches into this I need more food now kind of mode. And if you think I'm talking nonsense, think about this. Why do you think restaurants always bring out free bread the second you sit down? Like you're walking to the table and the hostess has the bread that's putting down as you're sitting down, or the second your butt hits the seat, that bread is on the table. You do not pay for the bread. The bread is free. I want you to think about this. The bread is free. Every single restaurant does this. Why do you think the bread costs money for them to feed you? So why do you think they're cutting into their profit margin to give you free bread? It is not out of the goodness of their heart. And also a lot of that bread, because once it's on the table, technically, unless you're at a bad restaurant, but technically once it's on the table, it can't go to anyone else's table. So the bread has to get thrown out. So not only are they cutting into their profit margin to give you free bread that they have to pay for, and a lot of that bread is going to waste. They're throwing it out. Why are they doing this? It's because when you were sitting there and you were reading that menu, you were mindlessly eating bread and you are getting hungrier by the minute. You are going to want to order more food. Your brain has all of the gears switched on. Eat now, eat, I'm hungry. And because you're hungry, as you're reading the menu and you're eating the bread and you've got all these switches turning on in your brain, you have already made the decision in your head to eat dessert before you even order, before you even eat your meal, before you even order. Even if you say, I'm going to be good, I'm not going to eat dessert tonight, your brain has already made that decision for you. So by the time the dessert tray comes out, you're saying yes, even when you're full. Even if you said, oh no, I'm going to be good, you still order the dessert. And then most people, what do they do when they order dessert? They order one last drink. So the restaurant now is getting not just you ordering potentially more food on the main menu, but you're now ordering a dessert and a drink. So depending on the restaurant, you're adding, I don't know, maybe what is that now? $15, $20 a person? I don't know. I don't do desserts and alcohol. So if you think about $15 to $20 per person, per table, per restaurant, per evening, and this is all because of free bread. This is why restaurants do this. But when you anchor your meals with protein, your cravings are going to drop by about 30 to 50% because this is when your blood sugar stabilizes. Number 4, think through your game plan. What is the first thing when you walk into that house, you walk into that party, you walk into the family? What is the first thing that people do? What is the first thing they gravitate to? They walk into the kitchen and they go to that middle counter thing, the middle island, and they go to the charcuterie board. To the point that if you don't even have one at your party, people are going to just whisper like you're not even an adult. And you've totally failed as an adult. The charcuterie board is here to stay. Here's where women just lose their mind because they start with crackers and cheese and dips and bread, which, hello, they were my favorite. And I think hopefully you've learned this already in the last few minutes. When you eat this first, you're spiking your blood sugar, you're spiking your insulin, and you are keeping your hunger hormones in go mode. So this is your elite level charcuterie board game plan. I want you to listen up. Start with anything that has healthy protein and fat, no exceptions. Grab anything that is beef, turkey, roast, ham, bacon wrapped anything, deviled eggs, pate, shrimp cocktail, smoked salmon. I mean, just to name a few. Just give you some examples. Eat as much of this as you want, and then feel free to go back for seconds if you're still hungry. And next, I would recommend just to eat these, but just go really easy, go easy on the cheese and the nuts. They're healthy-ish, but you don't want to overdo it because they really are calorie dense. And I mean, that is it. This is seriously one of the most simplest plans that you can execute. Last one, number 5, be strategic about your treats. So what if you do want to partake in holiday sweet treats? What are some healthier options to choose from? And this is going to be controversial, but I'm going to tell you right now, cheesecake is my personal favorite. Okay, I'm going to clarify here. Homemade cheesecake, and I'll tell you why in a second, but I want to make sure I clarify this. A slice of cheesecake, factory cheesecake, has something like 1,500 calories and 70 grams of sugar compared to a traditional homemade cheesecake. Homemade cheesecake has it's like 350 calories and 20 grams of sugar per slice. You can literally eat an entire homemade cheesecake to get the equivalent of one slice of a Cheesecake Factory cheesecake. So I had to clarify that. Okay, why am I pushing cheesecake on you like some kind of, I don't know, dark alley weight loss coach? Because cheesecake, here's the cool thing about cheesecake. It's high in fat, so it's going to make you feel fuller, and it's relatively low in sugar compared to most holiday desserts. It's also very decadent. And you're actually tricking your brain that you just scored the best treat ever. You're going to be much more satisfied. You're going to stop eating much sooner. Rather than, you think about it, cookies, even fudge. Especially with cookies though, you eat one cookie and all it is sugar. So one cookie leads to 2 cookies, leads to the entire plate of cookies. So if cheesecake isn't your thing, some other options that you can think about, and again, just enjoy them in decent sized portions, like smaller portions. You don't have to go crazy, but things like dark chocolate bark, pumpkin pie. I personally would skip the crust, but pumpkin pie, baked apples with cinnamon, dates are nature's candy. I love dates. Cranberry sauce, and I would say the real stuff, not from the can. That's kind of gross. And then even things like dark chocolate covered strawberries. So let's recap your game plan. Here are the 5 things that you can do instead that are going to help you to keep your hunger and your cravings in check during the holidays. Number 1, fill up on the right foods. Number 2, bring your own food, especially in an emergency. Number 3, remember the order of your food: protein and fat first, carbs last. Number 4, think through your game plan. And then number 5, be strategic about your treats. If you're struggling with constant food noise, and especially around the holidays, and you want to lose weight in a steady, sustainable way without dieting, without willpower, without restriction, it's important to give yourself permission to not listen to the old advice that hasn't worked in the past. It's important to come up with your own strategy. And once you rewire your automatic responses, these healthier choices, they just happen naturally. This is where emotional eating, it stops being this fight with yourself, and weight loss actually becomes sustainable. So I want to ask you, are you the type of person that's just going to take everything that you learn in this episode, and you're gonna be like, yeah, that's cool. I'll just start in January when the holidays are over and things slow down. Or are you the type of person who's going to take everything that you learned today and you're actually going to say, I am ready to break this cycle? And if that's you, I have a free training that I think you might find interesting. You're going to get the psychology-based method to outsmart emotional eating in 10 days. I will leave the link in the show notes, or you can DM me on Instagram at holly.bertone, Bertone, with the word training, and I will send you the link to register. So thanks for tuning in. I'm Holly Bertone, your emotional eating profiler and coach, and this is Weight Loss Forensics.